So today I want to take a look at When You Love Someone by James T.W. The song has three separate parts. There's a fingerstyle part which he plays for the verse and the bridge parts. There's a kind of a strumming part which he plays for the pre-chorus. It's very easy, it's only 4 chords. And then the chorus itself has its own little fingerstyle pattern. So in total there's 2 fingerstyle patterns and 1 little strum section. What I want to do is I want to break down the chords, how they're played and how everything's fingered for the verse and the bridge part first. Then I want to go through the pre-chorus, then I want to do the chorus. And once we have all 3 of those parts done, I want to demonstrate how it's all played. I'll show the lyrics above and I'll also show the tab parts in the space just above here. So let's get cracking. So the predominant sort of fingerstyle pattern that he's playing for most of the song, to demonstrate just to tempo, sounds like this. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. That's mostly what he's playing throughout the song. So I'll just start off by showing you this pattern. So the verse and the bridge part are composed really of 4 chords. There's this kind of D sus2 over B chord to begin the song. How I'm playing this, I'm putting my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. My middle finger is going on the 2nd fret of the G string above it. And then my index finger is going on the 2nd fret of the A string. And that's the fingering and that's the position of the first chord you're going to be the fingerstyle is kind of based around. Then the second chord is the exact same fingering, except you're moving it up 2 frets. So just to run through it, it's your ring finger is going on the 5th fret of the B string. Your middle finger is going on the 4th fret of the G string above that. And then your index finger is going on the 4th fret of the A string. So it's going from... And then you're keeping the position, just sliding it up. And that's it. And I should also say, you're capoed up, to 5th fret. And you're in standard tuning. So everything I'm saying is relative to the capo. So when I say 2nd fret B, it's the 2nd fret relative to your new neck, which would be considered the capo. So... something like that. So, and then your 3rd chord in the song is a D. It's just a standard open D chord. And of course, in the song itself, he's playing these little embellishments. You know, he's making it like a suspended 4th. So, but for the sake of just learning, it's a D chord. And the last chord you need is just G. So that's your 4th chord. And again, just like with the D, he's embellishing it with his pinky and stuff, but I'll go through the fingerstyle stuff now. So going back to the very first chord I just went through, that D sus2 over B, this one. Your fingers, what my fingers are doing to play how you're playing that, you're going to use your middle and you're going to use your thumb, and you're going to pluck together. You're going to pluck the B string, with your middle finger. And you're going to pluck the A string with your thumb. It's going to sound like that. So if this is a better angle you can see it from. That's the very first movement of this verse now. It's just going. And then after that you're just going to add your index to the G string. So it's going. You can see that, it's going. And once you have those 2 moves together, you're just going to slap. So you're going to really slap or strum down. I think personally strum down is probably better. If you want to slap it, that's cool too, but it's just... Sorry. even slower, it's going. And once you have that down, you're going to just slide up again, so. And you're going to do the exact same thing again. Your middle finger on the B, and your thumb on the A. And you're going to play the second chord where you slide up to that second chord, it's going. And again, your index finger. So it's the exact same movement again with your right hand. You're playing the exact same pattern when you're finger picking. You're just sliding that chord shape up. So together, those two chords together, very slowly, will sound like. Sorry, together it's going to sound. So I'll just break that down once more from the first chord. It's going to go middle and index together on the B, middle on the B, and then your thumb on the A string, and then your index on the G string, then slapping down, up 2 frets to the next chord. You're doing the same fingerstyle pattern again, so your middle finger on the B, and your thumb is on the A, and then your index is going on the G, and then slapping down again. And they're the first 2 chords of the song. That's how it's finger picked. So it's going. And then you're just going to play your your D. So. So it's going to go. And how you're playing that D, you're using your middle finger on the last string, the E, and you're playing the D string with your thumb. So for the D chord, these little embellishments I was talking about there a few moments ago, it's going. That's kind of the pattern he's playing with the D, so it's going, if you can see, so keeping this position again, your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the E, your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B, below that, so, and then your index finger on the 2nd fret of the G above that, so keeping that position, keeping that chord shape, you're playing thumb and middle finger on the low E, on the high E string, your thumb on the D string, and then after that you're playing with your index finger the B string below that, so it's on. And then you're incorporating your thumb onto the G string. So I might be explaining that a little bit fast. Let me just break it down there once more. So it's going, just if you can see it. So thumb and middle together, and then index on the B, and then thumb on the G. So all together, starting from the first chord, it's. And then he's doing this kind of sort of weird staccato thing where he's going, so on the D. So you're kind of, what you're doing is, you're keeping the D shape, but you're placing your baby finger on the 3rd fret of the high E string. So keeping this position, you're just going to add the E string. Add that finger to the E string. And he's kind of just he's playing it with his middle finger, so it's going. It's kind of as soon as he's playing it, he's almost just cutting it off, so. And once it's cut off, you're going to just play the note behind it. So just, he's playing this. And once he's finished, he's playing the note behind it. So he's playing the 3rd fret, cuts it off, and then plays the 2nd fret. And then goes down to the 3rd fret of the B string. So together I'll just show you how that sounds in the chord shape. It's going from where you've learned with the middle and the thumb together. So all together it's going to sound. So that's how it sounds together. And then your final chord, you're playing this G shape. You're putting your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E, and you're placing your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. And you're playing those two notes together. So your thumb and your middle again, you're playing the low E and the B together. And then you're gonna, with the open 2 strings below that B, you're just playing with your index and your thumb. So it's gonna go. So, and after you have this mastered, so just to run through that again, it's the middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string, and you're putting your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. Once you have that part mastered, you're going to just add your pinky to the 5th fret. Now it might be a bit of a stretch, I understand, but it basically, the melody of the song's going. And you're playing this 5th fret with your middle finger again. So it's going. So it's a little bit hard to just describe how this part in particular is played, but just to run through that once more, I know I'm repeating myself, but you're keeping this shape, and then you're playing the B and the E together. And then you're going to play the open G with your index finger. You're going to play the open D with your thumb. And then you're going to play this little stretchy part up here with your pinky, with your middle finger. And then you're going to play the 3rd fret below it with your index finger. And then you're going to slap. And then once you've slapped, you're just going to play what you've just played again. You're going to play this shape with your thumb and your middle finger. So. And that's it. Now for the pre-chorus part, it's really just a strumming part, so you really just have to focus on 4 chords. I'll go through the rhythm after I've shown you the chords, but the first chord you're starting on is a G over B, and what it is basically you're putting your index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and you're putting your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and you're just strumming down from the A. Well, yeah, strumming down from the B rather. And the second chord you're playing is actually the exact same shape, except you're adding your middle finger to the 3rd fret of the E string. the low E string. And you're strumming down. This is basically a G chord, but you're not adding you're not fretting the low E. So you're just keeping the shape of the first chord, as I just demonstrated, and then you're putting your middle finger on the third fret of the low E, and you're strumming down from the E. And then your third chord is just an open D, which we went over in the verse part, so it's just an open D. And then the last chord is an open A. Now it's up to you if you want to play the A. I play it like this. It's kind of a nerdier way of playing an A, where you're basically putting your index finger on the second fret of the D, you're putting your middle finger on the second fret of the G, and you put your ring finger on the second fret of the B, and you're strumming down from the A. Some people play an A with by just barring those 3 frets together, making more of an A6 chord, but you can just play it like this. Personally, I play it like this. I've just always have. So basically, the rhythm for this pre-chorus section is going. That's basically it. There's a small change in the second part when you're playing it. So there are 2 sort of different parts to this pre-chorus, right? The first part you need all 4 chords, and then the second part, when you're playing it again, you're actually only going to need 3 of them. So for the first part you need your G over B, the very first chord I just showed you. Then you're going to need that G chord without the E, and then you're going to need the D, and then the A. And then when you're finished with that A, you're going back and you're playing that G over B again. And then you're playing your G again. But instead of playing the D after that, you're just going to play the A. So I just want to show you the rhythm for the pre-chorus. It's very simple, it's all in 4/4. Just to demonstrate it very slowly, it's going down, up, 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 down. And then you kind of cut it off at the end before you get into the chorus itself. So just run through that once more, and then I'll show you the demonstration of how it links into the verse, the finger pattern before it. So it's going down, up, 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 down. And it just cuts off. Now, there's a fingerstyle pattern for the chorus itself, and believe me, it's going to be a lot easier than the verse and the bridge part that I showed you at the beginning. Basically what you're playing this very first chord I ever showed you, the D sus second over 4, where you're putting over B, D sus second over B. You're placing your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. Your middle finger is going on the 2nd fret of the G string, and your index finger is going on the 2nd fret of the A string. That's your first chord for the chorus. It's the same first chord as the verse. Then the second chord you need is A. Then the third chord you need is actually D sus second over F sharp. For this chord, I personally prefer, and I think it's easier to use your thumb. If you're just going to put your thumb over the neck of the guitar and just fret that 2nd fret, rather than doing like something like this. You can play it like this if you like. You can use your index finger on the second fret. I personally just prefer I call it the Hendrix shape, because Hendrix always just put his thumb over when he's playing bar chords. He played them like this. I just always found it easier. But you can play it with your index finger. How I'm going to show you how to play it. It's basically just placing your thumb on the second fret of the high E, and you're keeping this D shape that you played in the previous chord, except this time you're going to be playing it with your index on the second fret of the G, and you're going to be playing the third fret of the B with your ring finger. Now alternatively, as I said, you can play it like this. If you find that easier, you can put your index finger on the second fret of the E string, the low E string, and then you can put your middle finger on the second fret of the G, and your ring finger on the third fret of the B. So you can play it like. And then that last chord is actually the same shape. It's the exact same shape, except you're going from the F sharp to the G. You're going from the second fret of the low E to the third fret, and you're keeping the shape. So the three chords you need are D so second over B, you need A, you need this special thumb chord, D so second over F sharp, and D so second over G. They're the four chords you need. So how these four chords sound together goes. And I didn't tell you before, but there's an E minor that leads back into the verse part, just goes. And then you're just putting it. But I'll demonstrate exactly how to play this fingerstyle pattern now. So keeping this D so second chord in place, in position, we're just going to play the A string with our thumb. And then with our index and our middle finger, we're going to play the G and the B together. So thumb, index, middle, then slap. Then onto our A, we're going to use our middle finger on the B, we're going to use our thumb on the A, and then we're going to play those together. And then after that, you're going to use your index on the G string below the B. And then we're going to slap again. So those two chords together are going to sound. And then you're going to add in your little thummy chord. It's going to go. You're going to hit that F sharp, this thumb, using your other thumb. So it's going to go. So thumb, and then your index and your middle finger again. You're playing the G and the B, just like you did at the start. Or again, if you want to just play that chord like. And then slap. So those three chords together are going to sound like. And then your very last chord, same thing. You're just playing it using your thumb, your index, and your middle finger. You're going to play the E with your thumb. You're going to play the G with your index, and you're going to play the B with your middle finger. And you're keeping this shape. So same shape as before with the thumb, except instead of using your thumb over it, you're going to use your middle finger on the third fret of the low E, and you're going to keep this kind of D shape. Just run through it again. Sorry, it's second fret on the G, using your index finger, and then middle finger, third fret of the B. You're playing, and you're just playing. So all together, those 4 chords together sound like. That last part, right? So you have these 4 chords down. Just I'm gonna run through it once more. I know it's repetitive, but it's important. So it's. Then your last part leading back into the verse is gonna go. So really, you're just making an E minor shape. That's all you're doing. You're gonna play. The first note you're gonna play is your thumb on the open E, and then you're gonna play the 3 strings above that and slap. So it's going open E, those 3 strings above it. So you're freshing using your index finger on the 2nd fret of the A and your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D above it. That's your shape for the E minor. And you're just going to play together. So first you're going to play open E with your thumb, and then after that you're going to play the 3 strings below it with your with your thumb, index and middle fingers. Slap. So it's. We're going to repeat that pattern twice, so it goes. And then when you're about to play that pattern again, you're going to play with your thumb on the E string, and then you're just going to fret the 3rd fret of that E string as well.